Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a long time since my last video, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. So we'll see if we can make up for some lost time with an update on my ultimate 40-gallon breeder reef that I've been working on. There's a lot going on in this tank, and I've been having a lot of fun with it over the last couple of months. And I'll kind of give you a quick overview of what's happening in here. I'm not going to go too in depth into everything. It's just too much for one video. But just a quick overview, I think. Point out some of the highlights. There's a lot of new equipment that I've put onto this tank. If you remember back, if you've been following along, this started out as just basically 40 breeder frag tank. But never really lived up to the expectations. I just didn't really put the effort into maintaining it and everything, and it's kind of it took a turn for the worst. So what I finally decided to do was to just go all in, do some experimentation with some new techniques, some new equipment, and kind of turn this into like the ultimate 40-gallon build. And I really want to focus on doing some SPS corals in here and just, see what I can make happen with it. So the frag tank pretty much crashed. Lost a bunch of stuff, but not everything died. And I was able to recover, quite a few frags, which, are still in this tank here, making a recovery. And I also had a 20-gallon tank set up downstairs. If I find a clip, I can throw that in here. If you remember that one, I've also shut that tank down, and I've taken everything that was in there and kind of put that into here. That 20-gallon tank also never really lived up to expectations. So I'm hoping that, combining two of these things together, make it a little bit more focused, I'll be able to achieve, what I really ultimately wanted to do, with those other two tanks. So it's no longer a frag tank. It's just going to be focused on SPS corals. And I took, the best out of the 20-gallon, put that in here, and the best out of what was left in the frag tank, put it in here. And that's what's in the tank. Now, all around it, you're going to see a lot of stuff. Over here on the left, this is my homemade DIY aquarium controller, which I'm still working on. Kind of hadn't worked on it, and took a little break on that. Kind of when I stopped making YouTube videos for a little while. Just kind of, it was too much. I had to catch up on some other things. But I am working on this again, and I will do another update video on that at some point. But that's been working out really well. So I've got my aquarium controller up here. Brand new lighting fixture, which I just got this week. This was one of my Black Friday pickups. This is the Aquatic Life T5 LED Hybrid Fixture. So I had been running 2 AI Prime lights on here, which they are decent lights, but probably wasn't enough to do what I wanted to do in this tank. So I went ahead and picked up this T5 Hybrid Fixture. The bulbs just arrived today. I just put them in. So I'm really haven't even got a chance to use it yet. They're not even turned on right now. I will turn them on in a minute. I'll just kind of give you an idea of how it looks just with the 2 LED AI Prime HD lights. This is the hybrid fixture. Now, this isn't the normal hybrid fixture. This is the dimmable version. And I'll do a video, I think, just on this, highlighting all of the features of this, once I get to know it a little bit better. But this is the dimmable version. It's 36 inches long, and it holds 4 T5 bulbs. So I went with 2 actinic bulbs and 2 Blue Plus from ATI in there. And let me go ahead and turn them on now. And you can see, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera just how much of a difference this makes, because the camera kind of auto adjusts for the lighting. But wow, is it, it's hard to describe. It's just like, it just seems like it fills the tank, with light more. I've never used T5 lights before, but they certainly do make a difference in there. It's kind of hard, like I said, it's hard to see on the camera because the camera kind of auto adjusts for a lot of that stuff. But in person, it certainly does look much nicer. So yeah, so I've got new lighting on here, and I expect that that's really going to, give these corals the push that they need to start growing. Over here on the right, I did do some unboxing videos on some calcium reactor equipment. That's all been hooked up and running for the last couple of months. Wow, I'm also so impressed with, this so far. It's like, I'd always been using two-part in the past, and what a difference, the calcium reactor makes. It just, they're expensive to set up, to get everything that you need, for all the good stuff. But it just makes it so much easier to maintain stuff. And I'll have to get into that a little bit more as well. And then I've also got some dosing pumps set up over there. And let's get a closer look. Got a lot of different types of Montiporas in here right now. And you can see a lot of plating Monties all down here along on the sand bed. Got a few Acros, some Digis down there as well. Purple Stylo, some green bird's nest. Got some, hammers. A bunch of candy canes. So I got a bunch of, variety of stuff. I'm focusing mainly on SPS. I really want to get like some more Acros and stuff like that in here. So I have a few Zoanthids. There's some Rastas that I got. I believe they were from Murphy at Reefapalooza this year. So far everything is doing really well in here. And I am really expecting, well, I'm hoping that the addition of the new lighting will really make these things pop and really go on a growth spurt. So I guess we will have to wait and see. But for now, just kind of get a look at what's going on in here. And I'm really, so my whole vision of this was, at least with the original 20-gallon tank, you remember these branches were from down there. I just wanted like an SPS garden, and never really worked out down there, but I'm hoping in here I will have some better luck. So yeah, there's a bunch of different types of frags. Let's see if we can... The fish are kind of freaked out with the new lighting. I just put it on, so they are not used to it, and they're all kind of hiding. But let's see if we can see a few familiar faces. Remember the barnacle blennies? There's one hiding in there. Where's the other guy? He's in there. There's one over here somewhere. There he is. So I still have the barnacle blennies. There's 4 of them in here. I only know where 3 of them are at the moment. The 4th one always used to hide here, but he's been kind of on the move the last week. I don't know why. Just kind of roaming around the tank. I don't know where he's at right now. And as for other fish, there is a 6-line wrasse in here. There he is under there. And there is a little baby bristle-toothed tang who is not going to show himself because we're trying to find him. And there is an Ebly angel. So they're the 2 fish that I had in here for quite some time. They're still in here. A couple little sexy shrimp in here. There is a cleaner shrimp. You can only see his whiskers back there. And there is a spotted mandarin in here somewhere. And there's one other fish, which you will probably never see because I almost never see it. Hangs out in this cave. It's called like a white gecko goby. And I like to call it a cave goby, because it never comes out of that cave. Very, very rare occasion it'll come out, but yeah, barely ever see it. So hopefully next time I do a video on this, the fish will be used to the lighting and they will be out and about so we can see them. But that's about it for what's going on in there. If we come over to the equipment side, You can see there is the calcium reactor. I've got a pH probe going over to my Reef controller, or Reefberry Pi. So it is controlling, it's measuring the pH in the calcium reactor, which is controlling the carbon doser. So when it's the pH drops too low, I have it shut off the carbon dioxide to allow the pH to stabilize. CO2 canister, my little homemade bubble counter. The pH or the CO2 is turned off right now, so there's no bubbles coming out. I do have one of these K-More pumps, which I got running at 20 milliliters per minute right now. I just cranked that up a little bit because I noticed that my DKH was dropping. Here's my old Jabo dosing pump. So I'm dosing acropower, phytoplankton, and zooplankton in there right now. And I made these little DIY, I guess, nano dosing containers. That seems to be working pretty well for me. And the phytoplankton and the zooplankton tend to settle at the bottom, so I have an air pump going in, bubbling it to keep the stuff in suspension. So when it gets dosed, it actually makes it into the tank and not just sitting in the bottom of the dosing containers. If you want to, I should probably do a little DIY video on those. That's about it on that side. Everybody always wants to know what's down below. So I've got a skimmer, Vertex skimmer. And I do have one of those smart, oh, I shouldn't have messed with it. That's one of those smart ATO sensors. So if the skimmer cup gets full, it will shut it off. And it is probably really dirty right now. I have to clean that. Let me shut my skimmer off. And just a second. Okay. So yeah, so I keep that. That will shut off the skimmer pump in case the cup gets overflowed or overflowing close to full. So that's what in the first chamber. Second chamber, I've got some Chaeto in there. I'm one of these Kessel H80 lights, and it is doing a great job growing this Chaeto. Down underneath, I just got some rubble and some Miracle Mud. Pinky floss pad, which is disgusting. I need to change that. pH probe and a salinity probe, which again are being controlled or being measured with my Reef controller. And I got a return pump in here and some bags of media. And that's about it. This is where the calcium reactor effluent's coming in, and where the phyto and the zooplankton are being dosed. So it'll hit the return pump, get sucked into the tank. My auto top-off container, which empties up into here. And I think that's about it with the equipment. Oh, I do have a wave maker. It's a Jabo SOW8, I believe. And that seems to be doing the trick. And I guess I can give you a quick sneak peek of the Aquarium Controller. This really deserves its own video, but you've seen this before. This was the Python interface that runs, on the Raspberry Pi itself. It's the Raspberry Pi desktop, and I wrote the user interface, and it was great and all, but ultimately, I want to run this on any device. So I have rewritten it as a web application. So you can pretty much open this up in any web browser on your phone, iPad, computer, and it will. I still have a lot of work to do on this, so everything's not implemented yet. But I think here we go. That looks better. but it will be at some point, hopefully. But it is working, so, you know, everything that was running on here, you know, will be running on the web interface. And again, these things work together. So for instance, if I were to turn my skimmer back on over here on the main computer, you will see that, you know, this will get the update and turn on over here. So there's the skimmer turned on. And if we come back over here, you'll see that it got the notification, updated the user interface. So the back end is all still doing what it did. I'm just rewriting the front end at this point. So stay tuned for an update on that. I'm not going to get into too much into that now. All right, so I guess that's about it for this update. I think it's gone on long enough. I just shut the pumps off and put some food in, see if we can convince the fish to come out, get something to eat, and it looks like they're thinking about it. So we'll just let this run for a couple minutes to wind out the video, and thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more updates. I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I've got updates on the other tanks. So hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, do everything you've got to do if you want to stay informed, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.